Hi guys, Reza here from Homeowner DIY. Guys, this is your quick tip of the week. So this here is a drain for a shower. So we have our T that comes up. This is called a side outlet T, where you have an outlet on the side. So above it is a toilet. This is a wet vent for a sink, as well as a sewer vent. And something changed at this point in time, because this stack here is 80 years old and ABS is newer anyways. But they never put a trap on here, so the shower's above it, comes down and goes straight in. So there should be a trap, which I'm going to put on now. The homeowner has complained that he does smell sewage, and this would be the reason why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a trap for this shower drain. So what we'll do now is material and tools.
All right, this is the material and tools list. So for material, 1.5 inch solid trap, 1.5 inch coupling, 1.5 inch MJ. This is a mechanical joint, so it has 2 bands on it, and then it's a rubber gasket on the inside. ABS glue, ABS pipe. For tools, drywall saw, hacksaw, a respirator. This house is from the 50s, so the little bit of drywall has asbestos in it. And then I have my pouch, so hand tools, measuring tape, Nutdriver, ratchet, torque wrench, and anything else I might need. Guys, this is the material and tools list for this job, so let's get started. I'm loosening the nuts on the band, so I'm using a 5/16 nut driver, which is standard for plumbing. Next, I'm cutting around the pipe. This is to cut the pipe, as well as when I go to glue it, I'm going to need some space to glue the end of the pipe that's coming down from the ceiling. Now I'm cutting the pipe coming down from the ceiling. So I took the frame of the hacksaw off, and I'm just using the blade. The hacksaw is bulky, so you're going to have a space between the ceiling and the blade unless you remove it. So here you can see the buildup of debris in the steel pipe. This is very common because steel pipe is coarse on the inside, so it'll collect debris faster. So here I'm holding up the trap to make a mock-up of where it's going to be, to get an idea of how long of a piece I need between the trap and the trap arm. So for the mechanical joint, each end is 1 inch long. So this is something you have to keep in mind when you measure for your piece of pipe. So I cut an 1.75 inch piece, 3/4 for the hub for the 90, and then 1 inch for the band. So I'm putting a level on the end of the 90 to level the 90 so the trap will be straight. If necessary, loosen the nuts on the band and then slide the band over the rubber. If you're having problems, probably the band is too tight and you're catching on something when you're trying to slide it over. When tightening up the band, tighten both back and forth. If you tighten one side, it's going to kick out the side of the band and it's going to be crooked. Besides looking bad, you also may have a leak. Now, when tightening up these nuts, go until you feel a little bit of resistance and stop. If you tighten them too much, you can snap the band and you'll have to get another one because it's not repairable. So I'm gluing the pipe for the coupling. Glue the coupling on first, so when you take a measurement, it'll be from the stop inside the coupling to the end of the 90, so the pipe will be long enough and you bottom out the 90. Here I'm measuring the piece of pipe from the inside of the coupling to the bottom of the 90. These 1.5 inch traps are level on both sides, so the bottom of the 90 and the pipe on the other side will be at the same height. Now I'm gluing the piece of pipe into the coupling. So once the piece of pipe is glued in, just look at it and make sure that the end of the pipe and the bottom of the 90 are level. Here I'm realizing that the pipe is too close to the 90, so the trap's not going to fit. The reason that I didn't figure this out before is because the ladder and the camera are in my way, making it an awkward angle for me to see. But normally I would mock this up and then take my measurements, but in this case I can't do that. So here I have to remove the 90 from the band. I need to put a 45 or a 22 on this to move the trap off to the side. You can see how crooked the pipe coming down from the ceiling is from the install of the shower by whoever did this. So here's the 45 that I'm going to use to move the trap off to the side. So I'm going to have to cut another piece of pipe glued into the 45 and figure out how long of a piece I'm going to need between the 45 and the 90. Because the pipe coming from the ceiling is crooked, the 90 will have to be turned so they're parallel, which is going to make the trap crooked, but that is going to make it where you're going to have a solid joint between the 90 and the trap, as well as the pipe coming down from the ceiling. So I've glued in a piece of pipe in for the 45. I'm putting a level on the end of the 45 to give it grade. And from there, I'm going to figure out how long of a piece I need between the 90 and the 45. So because of the mechanical joint, to adjust the 45, loosen off the nuts, mimic the 45 to where it needs to be, and then retighten it. So now the trap can be put on and it can be spun back and forth with the 90. Line the 90 and the 45 up and then take a measurement. Because the trap can be spun, this is relatively straightforward and easy to do. So here I'm going to turn the 90 so the pipe and the 90 are parallel. You can see how the pipe is now a little bit too long, so it's going to have to be cut back because an 1.5 inch trap is level on both sides. If you don't cut one side back, the other side is not going to bottom out properly.
Alright guys, so the trap is now on. This coming down is horribly crooked, so I had to adjust this to make sure everything slid up together. So I wound up using a 45 and an extra coupling on this to make this work. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run water through the shower, test everything, make sure everything's okay. But this is what they should have done in the first place. There should have been a trap under the shower, tub, sink, whatever. You need to have P-traps, otherwise sewer gas will come back into the house. But assuming everything is good, nothing is leaking, really it's only the MJ in the back that I'm worried about leaking. This job is now done. Guys, that is your quick tip of the week.